So today we're going to create fractals. It's going to be using a combination of a fluid, paint, or ink, and alcohol. And it's going to do some really fun things. So what we need for a base layer, white paint is going to work best for you. And you'll want to either water it down or add pouring medium or Floetrol, because the goal is to keep this white paint wet for the application of our fractals. Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Collage-Lab, and I've got some mixed media March minis for you. So I've mixed some pouring medium with some white acrylic, and I've got baking paper, non-stick plastic coated baking paper laid down on these two surfaces, and I'm just trying to smooth the white paint, nice smooth layer with my palette knife, and smooth this one out a little bit. We'll see how this works. Next step is combining a liquid acrylic. I've got Prussian blue hue golden fluid acrylics. If you aren't using the fluid acrylics, you probably want to add a little water to them first. So I'm going to use golden fluid acrylics, golden high flow. This is a benzimidazolone yellow medium. How about just yellow medium? Golden fluid acrylics, or high flow acrylics, and some Bombay ink, India ink, in a green. And then the magic happens with adding some isopropyl alcohol. So I'm just going to put a couple drops in each of these, and I'm going to mix it up with this little tool. And if there's, I think maybe a little more alcohol. So maybe 4 drops in each of these little things. Onto the wet white paint and just touch it. And that's not doing anything. So I think it needs more alcohol. Stir it up. All right, see how it starts to spread. You can put a drop of alcohol in the center, but that's a little trickier, because getting that drop to go right where you want it is not the easiest thing. So let me try on this one as well. They'll kind of run into each other if you place them close together. Ooh, that was just a drop that just fell off. Let's see the fun patterns that are coming out there. So that was the golden fluid acrylics. Next up, I've got the golden high flow acrylics. I'm mixing this up good with the alcohol. And I'm not really seeing it do what I expect it to do, so maybe it needs more alcohol. Mix it up really good. There, it's starting to spread. There we go. better. Let's see if I can put one in the middle of the blue. Ooh, okay. Now we got some magic happening. I think the putting the center drop in is really where this gets fun. Some of these are turning out well. You can tell this is an experiment, and we will see which ones work. We'll take notes, and next time we do this, we'll see if we have better luck. The green I'm going to try is India ink, Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay India ink. That's doing nothing. More alcohol, I think. This does not work, for whatever reason, with alcohol inks. It will work with acrylic inks, India inks, or liquid acrylic paints. I see some of them are spreading quite well. I think there's a lot of factors in place here. How wet that white paint is underneath, how fluid it is, and how much alcohol, that sort of thing. So I'm going to put a little yellow in the middle of these green ones. There we go. See that? Multiple little fractals coming out of here. See, some of these are going well. I'm not expecting, 100% of these to be something I want to use, but so this one I'm just adding more ink in the center and continuing to let it spread. Maybe a little more alcohol. There we go. So that spreads out a lot, but it doesn't take the color with it as much. It's kind of fun. I don't know that any of these results are, earth-shattering or beautiful. And I think it's something that's going to take a lot more experimentation. Just, looking at how wet the white acrylic underneath is and how much alcohol, and then whether we're using the fluid acrylics, the high flow acrylics, the India ink. But I am enjoying these little mini bursts that we're creating here. Some of them are quite fun and interesting, especially when you add a color inside and it actually does the thing. Some of them I'm just like adding a little more alcohol to see if I can get them to grow. Look at this one. Well, and so that's it. The the big thing now, though, is this is all wet, and it's going to take quite a while to dry. If you've ever done paint pouring, you know that this thinned down paint is going to take maybe 48 hours to set up. So we will come back, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with my fractal experiments once they're dry. So I have no idea how long it's going to take for your fractals to dry. 24 to 48 hours, depending on how you thinned out your white paint and how wet your fractals got. This one had still a little bit wet and had a bit of an accident when something else fell on top of that fractal. So I'm just going to set that one aside, but got some good ones in here. Really enjoy the outer bands of some of these, and so I am going to peel this off of the baking paper, and once it's completely dry, you can usually get it started with your thumbnail. And if your white acrylic was put down evenly on the baking paper, you might be able to pull the entire thing off in one piece. So there we have it, my fractals, and that is acrylic in the background. So I'm going to set that aside as I come up with my mixed media March mini collage for today. And looking at the colors and shapes of my fractal, I decided that this image from a Chanel ad of all of the lichens and moss and things growing on this wall, I decided that would just be a fun background. So let me just cut this out. And see how I want to place this. A little bit thinner. But look at all that moss. That's just super cool for my background. And what I am going to do is tear along this one edge. So if I tear towards myself, I will get that white edge from the magazine page. And that's what I'm looking for, just a little more distress to go along with that. And then I found this fun little image of a guy building a wall. So I've got a wall full of moss. I'm going to have my little guy building a wall, and then I'm going to sprinkle some fractals around. So I'm just going to cut loosely around my wall builder. Okay, so I like that, and then some fractals up there with the moss and stuff. So let me glue down the background. I'm just going to use glue stick for the paper parts, but I am going to use a gel medium to attach the acrylic fractals. Just because I feel like they might get damaged as I drag the glue stick along. So that's why I make those kinds of choices. And my little wall builder. Glue him down in front here. And now I have my little fractals to place. And so you can carefully tear, or I'm going to cut around the ones that I really like. And just kind of place them where I might want them, like this blue one too. And one more, like this one. Almost looks like a flower. Something like that. So let me get some gel medium. And just put a dab on the back of this acrylic. And there we have our little fractals. And push them down so they don't warp. Our little fractals on that mossy wall background with our little wall builder in the front.